welcome to Add More Zest. My name's Rebecca. I hope you are all having a wonderful day. Happy 17th of June to you all. So, just trying to put the lid back on my tweezers. Today we are on sort of a long section. I decided rather than picking out another pen, I'm going to use this one today. I'm going to use this one for this section because then I can just flip between both sides. But we are on, let's say, a sort of extra section due to the size of the painting, and I'm going to start with my ABs. But yeah, we have quite a few really long lines today because I do have putty in this multi-placer. I'm happy placing ABs with them because it's not as sticky as the likes of a glue dot. So I'm just going to go for it and get as many down as I can and then grab my AB pen for the last little bit. If I don't end up catching them anyway, I don't end up putting them down in the wrong position. But yeah, comments, questions, etc. Grey Legrand, she says she's hitting pause to comment. So she says the multi-placing guilt, which is a little true. She said it is just a tool in the toolbox. She says that allows you to work your canvas faster so that you can whittle down the stash so that you can buy more canvases. I love your thinking. I love the planning. She said it is a skill that takes time to hone. And if she finds herself nudging more than laying down drills, she might change the multi-placer size, or she goes back to single placing. She's also said she got a new Lego set today. It's called Fun Pack, and it was $15 at Walmart. Bargain. I still have a few Lego sets to do. I was gifted some. I also have my gift when bought with from my birthday presents, and then I have another one that hubby sort of came home with as a surprise. He came home with a couple and I made one of them, but I haven't made the other. So I do have a few Lego sets to get on with. I've just not found myself in the Lego mood recently. I find that my Lego building move comes in spits and spurts. So I have no doubt there will be a time when I'm like, yes, I really want to do Lego. And that's sort of what I'm saving those for, rather than thinking, yes, I want to do Lego and ending up spending money on sets when I have sets there. I don't know why sometimes I feel guilty if I'm not doing Lego sets that I have. However, it is actually the best way to do it for me is to just wait until I am, in the mood for doing Lego and doing it then. So I'm sure I will let you guys know once I have completed any of those creations. But yeah, the bugs left me for a little bit, but I know it will be back because it's gone and come back before in the past. We did the garden this afternoon. So if you see that my hand's shaking, it's because I did the strimming work. So apologies for that. hubby mowed the lawn. It was a little bit wet, to be honest. It was a little bit the lawn was too wet to do it. The sun has actually been out today. However, it is so much easier for me to be able to put the washing out and bring it in and stuff when the lawn is mowed, because we've had a couple of weeks. We've been doing really, really well at keeping on top of the lawn this year. But of course life then gets in the way, and we did it just before we went away to Centre Parks, and then of course the Great British weather played its part, and we just haven't had it dry out enough, and and us not be working to be able to mow it again. So it ended up being a couple of weeks, which just meant it was getting just that bit too long. So today it was a matter of let's just do it anyway. While it is not physically raining at this moment in time, let's just get that bad boy done, so that the week we're not fighting with it throughout the week. But yeah, because I did the strimming now, I find that my hand shakes a little bit more if I'm not propping it against something. You should try and see me put sugar in a cup of coffee. It is entertaining. When I first finish strimming, the kids know that I actually grab whichever one of them is passing to get them to put the sugar in my coffee for me, because otherwise I just make an almighty mess. Anyway, Blossom Chops, she says, yes, she says it does take a bit of getting used to as to how much putty to use when using it in the multi-placer. Which, yeah, I think this putty now, this last time, has lasted so much longer. It's lasted ages. And even though I'm partly thinking, do I need to change it? It's not yet got to the, yes, I have to change it. It's getting close. But yeah, I might be diamond painting later on some of my big one. Though now I've said it out loud, watch something happen that stops me. But if I am, I might replace it then. Just because the putty's in my drawer of my drafting table, so it's very easy to do when I'm sat there. Grey Legrand also says, she says for Janet, she says our zesty getting her GED. She says graduating from high school, she says, is expected, but getting your GED is such an accomplishment. She says, and be motivated by the rewards it will bring. Yes, Janet is doing absolutely fantastic with it. And yeah, long may it continue and be done and be a fantastic achievement that can help you moving forward. And the pressure, I suppose, pressure you probably put on yourself a little bit more, will be, all over, and you can enjoy the reward from your hard work. Blossom Chops, she says she loves the little green honey pot. So it's the little pot that was in last year's Advent. She said it reminds her of Pooh Bear. Update, she says she has been using it a lot recently because her latest batch of paint gem drills are very stuck together. She just adds a few small squares of a dryer sheet in the pot with a little screw or bolt. No, yeah, it's a bolt. A nut, not a bolt. Words today. And yeah, she said that helps a lot with static. That is something I do want to pop in mine, because of course popping plastic drills in a plastic pot, even if it then has a metal nut in it, because you're shaking it about. It can definitely cause static if your drills are prone to it anyway, whereas putting in that little dryer sheet really helps with that. Melissa, she says she knows that I've said that I won't be stopping my diamond painting and content, she says, for the new quilting hobby. She says, but she does hope that I will share some of it with you all. She says, like I did with my Legos. She says, when you mentioned the colour palette you chose, she said she got all excited. See, did I mention the navy? This is what I can't remember now. Did I mention the navy as the colour palette? Or was I talking about the green that I've recently changed to? Because I do keep changing what it is that I'm doing. I was going to do navy, but now I have some greens. And I can't remember which one I've mentioned to you all. But I am loving it. I haven't done any since last weekend. I do find it's more of a, I think probably because it's new as well, and it's not just do a little bit and then, you know, get on with something else. It still needs a bit more concentration from me at the moment. So I am finding that I tend to do it when I actually have free time at the weekend, which the past few weekends has not been as much. So we'll see if I get some more in. I do have another quilting lesson next weekend, the sort of second one, so maybe that will either spur me on to do a little bit during the week before we go to that. If not, I will probably be spurred on to do a little bit more once we get back from that lesson, because I'll have new things running around in my head, new ideas or new tips or confirmation that I'm going in the right direction and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, I'll be sure, just like I did with my cross stitch as well, when I was doing a cross stitch for a bit, I did provide you with the odd updates and showcase where I was at, and if of course it's something that's potentially a video worthy, I will sneak in a little, here's a little bit of a different kind of video. I'm more than happy to do things like that, sort of as and when it suits, and keep you all updated on little side quests, because I am sure there are people that do quilting as well as diamond painting and other such hobbies. Do you know what I mean? There's often many of us that have multiple different things that we may do as a hobby. So I'll be sure to keep you updated with that. Kaz, she says, hi Rebecca. She says she hopes that we're well. She says she has a bit of a cold and she's had a rubbish day at work. She says, but this is calming me down. Well, I'm happy I could help. I think we all have rubbish days every now and then. So if my whip and waffle can give you a little bit of calm after a madness of a day, then perfect. That is exactly what I want to happen. So you make sure you get a bit of wind down time, a bit of relaxing time, and sort of get yourself back straight. I thought I dropped a diamond. It was on its side. Let's just move that one over. Let's pop that one in. Trying to get these bottom ones done. I feel like I am sliding back and forwards on this one a little bit, but there is a lot of colour blocking on this one. Makes me think maybe I should have updated my multi-placer before this video, but it keeps having batches of behaving extremely well and then has a little batch of misbehaving, so we'll see how far we get. I'm not a pro at changing the putty quickly quite yet, which is why it's like I'll do it afterwards. Probably only take me 2 minutes, but because I feel like it will take me longer, I feel like I need to allocate a little bit longer to get it done. And not just pause the video or do it on video and then I'll definitely muck it up. Right, I've got that little bit at the top. I felt like that was a bit that I was going to potentially miss. We've got a lot of colour blocking in this letter C. But let's get a few of these done down here first. Nursey, 1992. They've said they're sorry if this question is wrong. But what is an advent? They said as they are still new to diamond painting. They've also said they finally got themselves one of my trays and trash trays. They got the white one and they are really enjoying it. They didn't know what size they wanted, but they were very happy with the one that they've got. Thank you so much, they said, for helping me with organising their drills. Your products, said, are awesome. Again, this is North Carolina gal. This North Carolina gal was very happy. Hubby not so much, as he thinks she's gone a little bit crazy with her spending. That can often happen when it is a new hobby. Ask a new quilter how she knows. But the Advent, so the Advent is something we've done for a couple of years. There's sort of two aspects to it. So we have the Advent event on YouTube, which is very similar to this June waffle. I complete a section of a diamond painting a day, but this is through from the 1st of December to the 24th of December, so through to Christmas Eve. The idea is that you try and carve out, again, that little bit of me time in what can be, you know, one of the busiest seasons of the year, and one of the ones where quite often we forget ourselves. Too busy trying to make it perfect for everybody else. So the idea is to get a little bit of time each day. You know, could just be half an hour, could be a bit longer, but just a little bit of time to sort of decompress and not forget your hobbies. So we do sell a diamond painting for this event that's you can purchase from the shop. It's a little bit different this year. It's not yet been announced what this year's one is. We normally release it around September, but it has all been planned out, and all the design, whatever else, has all been worked out. So we will release details of that closer to the time. So that is one Advent thing. The other Advent that you probably hear me talking about quite a bit is our Advent calendar. So the Advent calendar is a countdown to Christmas. Quite often it is children that tend to have an Advent calendar. Back in my day, should we say, that makes me sound really old, we used to just have an Advent calendar that you would open up, and it would just have a picture behind it, just a picture behind each day, and you would open it on the countdown to Christmas. It got a little bit more elaborate as we got older, as those children got older, and it was one that we shared, but each day was filled with some sort of sweet treats or something, and we'd open that each day. And then of course you have your little chocolate ones, and now there's ones that are for Lego, there's ones that are for makeup and beauty, and all sorts of different manufacturers have one for different things that you may be interested in. But we started 3 years ago doing an advent calendar for the diamond painters. So it is a box of 24 different packages for you to open one day from the 1st to the 24th. Okay, that putty's going to have to stay there. From the 1st to the 24th of December. And you will get something, most of it is diamond painting related. There is a couple of things that are a little bit more generic, a little bit, you know, more of a universal thing than necessarily a diamond painting thing, but the majority is diamond painting related. And yeah, we do the advent calendar each year. That will be available at some point in July. Available for pre-order at some point in July, once we have got things finalised. And then there will be stock put aside for September, alongside the release of our painting, for those that prefer not to pre-order and want to buy when it is then going to get straight away shipped. So we've got a bit of both. Kim, she says, she said she saw the two eyes symbols that I missed. She said she is glad that it was a cinch to correct the mistake. Yes, having the diamonds on trays, I really don't mind anywhere near as much now if I miss a symbol. It is not a big deal. It is just a matter of grabbing. It's just a matter of grabbing the tray and adding in the ones that I have missed. So much easier when I'm able to have the trays out. It's just not very practical. It's normally only the waffle that I ever do straight from tray storage, so it's kind of like a little bit of a treat too. I enjoy it anyway. I definitely do. Shirley, she says, hi Rebecca. She says you did a big boo-boo when you said the date of yesterday's was the 4th of July and it's only June. She says she thinks that I am tired of travelling after your weekend away with the hubby. Yes, my mind definitely has days when I do whip and waffles when it is a lot more alert than others. It often depends on the time of day and how much I have sort of going on in the background, because my brain is always working, even when I'm doing a waffle. It's thinking of other things, either things that I need to do tomorrow, things that I need to do when I've finished. Yeah, and I'm not as good thinking of multiple different things and being coherent. I'm not quite as good at it at the end of the day, or when it's an extremely busy week compared to other times in the day. So there has definitely been some of that, and that's what I reckon that was. She said, keep up the good work with your amazing waffling and your work on that canvas too. She says she's on her largest so far. It is 40 centimetres by 80 centimetres, and it is with round drills. She says she's done over half already. And she'll post it in the group's Facebook when she's finished, as she's only a beginner, and she's not that confident with the square diamonds yet. Well, Shirley, you go slow and steady and at your pace. Things definitely do get easier, and you get better at things, just like with any skill, really. Any skill that you sort of do and learn, you can start doing something and think, oh, I'm pretty good at this. But then when you look back 6 months down the line, you're like, okay, I wasn't bad, but I was definitely a beginner. So yeah, slow and steady with it, and I am sure you will do amazing. I love working with squares. As many of you know, it is one of my favourites, though rounds I like to mix in every now and then, because I do enjoy the variety that it brings, and how, yeah, just the difference. It's like doing a confetti painting and a non-confetti painting, and mixing up rounds and squares. It just keeps things a little bit more alive. Right, I can move that down now, finish that bottom part. Jo, she said, when you said the 4th of July, she said she had to take a moment and think about whether she went to work that day. I'm sending everybody into the madness that is my brain. She says day 4, she says, and she is slowly getting back into diamond painting. She says yesterday she's learned that she works faster if her canvas is flat on the table instead of on an easel. She says probably because she multi-places with tweezers, and diamonds just slide off sometimes. Now, I can get that. If you are multi-placing with tweezers, it's easier to, or at least I would have thought, not that I am a multi-placer with tweezers, but I would have thought it is easier to do the up, across, down angle rather than the up and tilt, because that's when you could potentially adjust your grip on the tweezers and possibly send diamonds flying. Whereas it's only direction when you're doing it the other way, not angle. So I do completely get that, and how different that would be. Right, let me get that one back. Okay, let's tackle this. Let us see. Multi-placing galore. Here is going to be my marathon of multi-placing to get my skills up. Monique says day 5. Hi Rebecca. She is still doing her project outside. She says a very beautiful morning in Canada. Well, I am so glad that our weather this week is going to match the weather you are having. We're due for nice weather this week so far. I say so far because the forecast can definitely change, and before you know it we could have rain all week, but according to it at the moment we actually have some summer. I think the highest is 23, which is next weekend or the weekend coming up. So the highest is 23. It's primarily between 15 and 22. It slowly creeps up in our area. So as long as it is dry and preferably sunny, though I'll take cloudy if not, then yeah, we are in for a good week. I'm crossing my fingers. Busy Lizzie says, hi Rebecca. She says, in regards to trays, she says, are you able to make a clear/transparent tray, please? She says, as her eyesight deteriorates, it's easier to see the diamonds in the tray if it is transparent or semi-transparent. She says, so that the light from the light pad can shine through the bottom, making the diamonds easier to see in the tray. She says if not, then that's fine. She understands. She says she just thought it would be a good idea for people who have bad or poor eyesight. That's something that actually we could do with trying again, and sort of messing about with again. We have done a tray that said it was like transparent translucent filament, and while it does let a little bit of light through, I'd say it's a lot more frosted than we expected, but it was quite a few years ago that we did that. We have improved our printers since, so we do have some higher end 3D printers now, so I will pop that on my list for something to sort of check out and maybe have, you know, just not do it outside of maybe a monthly launch, because we are starting to experiment on a few tray colours and different types of things outside of the monthly launch, and trying to keep the monthly launch for potentially things that are just that little bit different. So yeah, I will see what we can do on that one. D says, hi Rebecca, their walking machine mishap on the last weekend was because they put in 2 blankets in the machine instead of just the one, to try and save time. Pretty bad idea, she said, since the horrible sound it made as it walked and banged into their glass door was not fun at all, but lesson learned. Often, some lessons that we learn are not learnt in the most pleasant way. She said they also had a busy weekend digging up the garden, since they're building it up as they can, and they now have a lemon and lime tree added to their garden. Sounds beautiful. Our extent was mowing the lawn. Not quite into digging. We've had enough construction in the garden, front garden, and indeed back garden when we got work done on there. Yeah, that we definitely prefer getting somebody else to do it, but we're quite enjoying the peace and the calm, and the fact that maybe this summer there won't be anything dug up or being transported anywhere, though we do have some nice plants in some planters, and we might put some borders in the front at some point. It sort of was discussed when we had the first bit of nice weather, and then because the weather's gone downhill, it's sort of not been discussed again since. So we'll see. If the nice weather stays, then maybe we will go back to putting some borders in our front garden. Just soften the paving and the stones a little bit, and have a little bit of manageable greenery. Right, let me just get some more diamonds for this one. 553. Throw some more in there. Make this last bit of multi-placing a little bit easier. Jess, she says day 5, she says, and she is having so much fun painting along with me. She says, rather appropriate that we got the Waffle delivery Luna box. She says during June Waffle. She says that had me chuckling. She says glad that we've enjoyed our time away. You've got to love her. All the posties now know. She's like our little alarm to say, we are coming to the door. Just hold on a moment. At least she lets the delivery people know that somebody is in, and they will be coming to get the door soon enough. But yeah, it's been a little bit calmer today. No such impromptu deliveries, so it's been a little bit of a quieter day. Though having said that, she has been out for a long walk and a good amount of playing ball in the garden today, so that's probably also helped in the extra special tire out. Though she'd still go ballistic if somebody knocked at the door. She's just leaving the birds alone. Leaving the birds alone for now. Diana says, hello Rebecca and fellow Zesties. They said they just wanted to share a tip with regards to the walking washing machines. They said they have a relative who is in the business of appliance repair. He says that the cause of this is due to the load of clothing in the machine not being distributed evenly in the drum. So if the machine starts walking, he suggests that you open the door and check if the load is favouring one side of the drum. Moving some of the clothing around to better distribute the weight should help, along with ensuring the machine is on level flooring or that it has been levelled with the levelling feet. They said they hope this may help. If not, they will tell their relative to turn in his licence. With a laughy face afterwards. Love it. Love, love, love it. There is a couple of people confirming that their load will not, washing machine won't open unless the load's finished. But she does confirm that it must be a top loading machine, which I've never seen a top loading machine in the UK. So maybe is any people in America who are having a problem. But yeah, Blossom Chops does say, she said it is unusual for us to have top loading washing machines. She hasn't seen one for sale in the UK for years, which a lot of it is probably due to the fact that the majority of us, unless you have a utility room, a lot of us have our washing machine in the kitchen. And our washing machine's in the kitchen, and of course we need it front loading because we then have the kitchen side on top of it, which is well and truly used. We actually, when we redid our kitchen a few years ago, we did actually end up with more sort of working side, and it's amazing how quick it gets filled up. It really, really does. Okay, that is actually today's section finished. I do feel like that one went really, really quick. Looking at the time on my camera, that has gone just as quick as some of the other videos have. So maybe that is, of course, the amount of multi-placing. There's definitely a lot more in this one than there was in this one. Also, it's further on in the process, so I'm definitely getting quicker at doing each section, or at least I feel like I have done recently. But it's all good. The idea is a little bit of me time each day to get where we're going. And where are we off to? We're off to down here tomorrow. So I'm going to prep my diamond painting a little bit by making sure that this cover paper is at least clipped on, because it likes to go. It's the only one. Everything around it has been done. So it likes to try and say, it's my turn, it's my turn. But it's not its turn for a while. So we'll be on to another section in the bottom for tomorrow. But yeah, that is the section done for today. So thank you all so much for joining me, and I'll speak to you all again tomorrow.